The year was 476 CE. In the city of Ravenna, the last Western Roman emperor was deposed. Historians later marked this moment as the fall of the Roman Empire. To many, it symbolized the end of ancient civilization in Europe. Cities declined, trade slowed, political unity shattered. But Rome did not truly vanish. Roman law continued to guide rulers. Latin evolved into the languages of Europe. Roman roads, aqueducts, and architecture remained functional for centuries. Even after the Western collapse, the eastern half, the Byzantine Empire, carried Roman identity forward from Constantinople. What appeared to be a fall was, in reality, a transformation. Rome stopped being a single empire and became a civilization that shaped the West. Nearly 8 centuries later, another empire faced destruction. In 1258, Mongol forces invaded Baghdad, capital of the Abbasid Caliphate. The city that had once led the world in science and philosophy was devastated. Libraries burned. Scholars were killed. The Caliphate's political authority collapsed. It seemed like the intellectual heart of the Islamic world had been extinguished. But knowledge does not burn so easily. Scholars escaped to Cairo, Damascus, and Anatolia. Mathematical texts, medical treatises, and astronomical discoveries survived in copies and memory. The Abbasid political structure fell, but its intellectual revolution continued, later influencing Europe's Renaissance. The empire died as a government, but it survived as an idea. The very force that destroyed Baghdad, the Mongol Empire, would itself fracture within decades. Founded by Genghis Khan, it became the largest contiguous land empire in history. Yet, after its rapid expansion, it split into rival khanates. To many, it seemed like another empire collapsing under its own weight. But the Mongols left behind something revolutionary: connected continents. Trade flourished across Eurasia under what historians call the Pax Mongolica. Technologies like gunpowder and paper currency moved westward. Diplomatic networks linked distant courts. Even after fragmentation, the Mongol administrative influence shaped Russia, China, and Central Asia. The empire broke apart, but globalization accelerated because of it. While Eurasia was transforming, West Africa witnessed the rise of the Mali Empire. At its height under Mansa Musa, Mali controlled vast gold resources and key trade routes across the Sahara. When Mansa Musa journeyed to Mecca, his wealth stunned the Mediterranean world. Timbuktu became a center of scholarship. But after internal succession struggles and external pressure, Mali declined. Trade routes shifted. Territory fragmented. Yet Mali's manuscripts survived. Its gold had already reshaped global economies. Its intellectual centers influenced generations. Though the empire weakened politically, its legacy continues to challenge outdated narratives about Africa's past. Mali fell, but its prestige endured. Centuries later, another vast power stood between Europe, Asia, and Africa: the Ottoman Empire. For over 600 years, it governed diverse peoples across 3 continents. But after World War I, the empire collapsed. Its lands were partitioned. The Sultanate ended.
A Republik emerget under Mustafa Kemal Atatürk.
Yet Ottoman influence never truly disappeared. Modern Middle Eastern borders were drawn from Ottoman provinces. Legal traditions, cuisine, architecture, and administrative systems reflect centuries of Ottoman governance. Conflicts and alliances today often trace back to decisions made during its dissolution. The empire fell, but it became the blueprint for the modern Middle East. In 1521, Spanish forces led by Hernán Cortés conquered the capital of the Aztec Empire. Temples were destroyed. Indigenous rulers were overthrown. It seemed like total erasure, but the people endured. Mexico City rose atop the ruins of Tenochtitlan. Nahuatl words entered the Spanish language. Agricultural innovations survived. Cultural traditions blended into a new identity. The Aztec political system ended, yet its cultural memory became foundational to modern Mexico. Conquest reshaped society, but it did not eliminate the civilization beneath it. From Rome to Baghdad, from the Mongol steppe to West Africa, from Anatolia to Mexico, a pattern emerges. Empires collapse when political structures fail. Armies lose.
Capital zbrn.
Borders shift. But deeper forces survive. Language, law, religion, trade systems, culture, and memory. The Roman Empire influenced Europe. The Abbasid Caliphate preserved and expanded knowledge. The Mongol Empire connected continents. The Mali Empire reshaped perceptions of Africa. The Ottoman Empire defined modern borders. The Aztec Empire lives within modern identity. Political collapse is visible. Cultural survival is quieter, but more powerful. History is not a graveyard of lost civilizations. It is a chain reaction. Each empire leaves behind systems that the next generation adapts. Roads become trade routes. Laws become constitutions. Faith becomes tradition. Conquest becomes identity. When we say an empire fell, we often mean its flag was lowered. But influence does not vanish with a banner. It settles into everyday life. The world we live in, our languages, borders, religions, institutions, is built upon empires that supposedly ended.